I find it absolutely incredible that throughout the whole of human history, there has only ever been allowed a handful of people to know the genuine truth about life after death, consciousness, unity, and the real history of this human race. There's obviously been some really, really famous names like Yeshua, or Jesus Christ as he's known in the Bible, and many, many other ascended masters along the way that have tried to raise the consciousness of humanity and point us in the right direction, and they have, because it's a trickle-down effect. Without these pillars of hope, true pillars of hope, there wouldn't be any teachings, any lessons, there wouldn't be any hope left for those living today. And we're living in a time where the universe is allowing all of us to open up, to receive the true lessons of this universe, the true histories of ourselves. We know we're beyond the point of faith at this point. We are beyond the point of being a believer. We know we are knowers of the world. We know of the greatness of the divine, of the universe. We know of the healing power of the human being. We know of our own power. We know it has been hidden from us. But yet there are people still trying to hide it, but also people trying to help us reveal our true power as human beings. And I think that's just bloody amazing. You may very well be one of them. You may very well be somebody who is carrying the light, the love in a higher vibration, so that you are affecting the humanist awareness field for the whole of human consciousness. You may be aware of it, and the beautiful thing is you may not. Okay, you get these people in life that just, you feel good around them. You just feel good around them, and you can't tell what it really is. They're not particularly funny. You know, they're not particularly really loving or really caring or this or that. They just kind of are themselves in this unique, beautiful way that makes you feel comfortable of being uniquely beautiful yourself. And if there's something that is so damaging to us as human beings, it's trying to be a cookie cutter cut out, just like everyone else, trying to be a sheep. I'm trying to think of the term. There was a bodybuilder back in the day called what was his name? That's not important. His name was Big. He had a weird name. He was a weird dude, and he used to say, I'm not a cookie cutter, you know. But he turned out to be a legend, turned out to be a bit of a legend. Some people might think he's a bit of a laughing stock, some of the stuff he used to get up to, you know, but he was him. And I really wish I could remember his name right now. I want to say Big Lemon. It wasn't Big Lemon. Really damaging if we're not uniquely us, because we were created in a unique vibration, each one of us unique fingerprints on the hand of the divine themselves. Come here with unique abilities, talents, looks, unique morals, appreciations, but there is something that is underlying in all of us that none of us can deny. I would say the only trait that is universal that I see amongst animals, human beings, plants, every living thing holds a magnetic, almost default setting of love. It's our default, it's our natural state of being. Throughout every single angry moment that you can think of, it normally stems from fear. Every single piece of bitterness, you know, like even being stuck in traffic. You're screaming, I'm late for work. I'm late for, you know, I'm in fear of losing this job because then I can't pay the rent. I'm in fear of being homeless. You're screaming at the person in front of you in traffic because you're scared of being late for work because you don't want to get in trouble. It's coming out from fear, thinking if I don't get to work, then if I do lose this job, everything's going to fall apart. So this person in traffic, in front of this traffic, could ruin my life. That's how serious this traffic jam is right now. It could ruin my actual existence. Yeah, we get ourselves so worked up. When if we're in love, okay, we're in the vibration of receiving, then maybe we get stuck in traffic. Maybe we're late for work. Maybe we get fired. We say, okay, there's something greater at play here. We go home, we relax for a week. Maybe we step outside the door and say, do you know what? I'm going to go down the park for a little bit and chill out. Something I couldn't normally have done if I was stuck in the office right now. You walk down the park, you sit on the bench, you bump into someone, you have your lunch. Turns out the person you sit next to is a drummer. You're a drummer? What? I didn't. Nice, I'm a guitarist. Yeah. You fancy meeting up for a jam sometime? You meet up for a jam. You meet someone else. Before you know it, a year down the line, you're in the studio recording, making your first album, getting your music out there. If you were still stuck in that office, you would have never met the drummer. Yeah, with one arm. No Def Leppard. No Def Leppard. Do you know what I mean? Can you see how serious it is to be in love now? Huh? Maybe that's how Def Leppard met. I'm not sure. Probably not. But good example, I like to think. But on a serious note, we can only see what's in front of our eyes if we're only living in our five senses. As soon as we can start to trust and be in a place of just positivity, it is like a magnet, and positive things do really start to happen. But sometimes for something positive to begin, something old must crumble first, and that's the part none of us as humans like. Things changing. In a way, every single day we're in a constant battle between our physical selves and our spiritual selves. Anytime there's a change, our physical self says danger, discomfort. We need to preserve life, and part of preserving life is being comfortable, making sure we are fed, making sure we have water, making sure this, making sure that. The problem is when water and food and shelter is given to us on a plate, that level of fight or flight extends to our possessions. It starts to extend to our cars, to our holiday we had booked, to our job. It starts to extend to things that don't really serve us, or they don't serve us in the same way food and water do. But because we have the water just coming out of the tap, we have food in the shops, we've extended that fight or flight mechanism to our shiny new watch, to our PlayStation, to our Xbox, to our new flat screen TV. We've extended it to things that could not possibly last, and therefore keeping us in a constant state of fight or flight, never allowing us to really remember who we truly are as all-powerful creator beings. There's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying some of the finer things in life. After all, if we've done all the hard work of putting this life together and coming here to have a human experience, I think it's actually our responsibility to live up to that and have a bit of a human experience. Have a nice car, have nice clothes, have all these things, but just keep in mind what they truly are. They are temporary things that we borrow while we're human. We don't own any of it. The only thing we own, the only thing we take with us and we come here with is love. That's a fact. A good exercise to do, which I do quite often, is I think about my last hour, my last days on my deathbed. Fingers crossed make it to a deathbed as an old person. But I think about that day. I think about what I'm going to think when I'm 80, 90, potentially 100 years old. And I think, what would I absolutely hate regretting in that moment? What would be my biggest regrets? And I think my biggest regrets would be not loving more, not spending more time with the people that I love, that I care for, not telling people that I love them more, not really telling people you know, how much I appreciate them and what they've done for me in my life. You know, I think just letting people know around me how important they were to me and how special they were to me, I think that is literally the only thing that would matter to me. And it might be different for you. It might be completely different for you, but my relationships I've had, was I a good person in my relationships? Could I have been kinder? You know, that really would get to me if I wasn't kinder, if I hadn't just left it all out on the table while I was still able to, while I was still alive, if I didn't just really try and love as much as I possibly could, that would kill me. That would literally, that would be the thing I regretted the most. Not the fact I never won the lottery, or I never had a 7-bedroom mansion, or I never had a 6-figure salary. That stuff is just, what is that? What is that stuff? That stuff is just, like I said, it's a temporary state while we're here. It's not that important, you know. It really isn't. But we've been led to believe it's the dream, isn't it? It's the dream of the West, is to be that guy that with the best paying job, you know. To be that guy with the best paying job and to have the biggest house, and we've been led to believe that that's really it, but it isn't. Because if that comes at the cost of your children, if it comes at the cost of your family and your partner, then what's it really coming at the cost of? That's my belief anyway. Everyone's completely different, you know. Everyone's completely different, but there's one thing I know, you know, we want to give our children a better life, and maybe if I work super hard now, then my kids don't have to work super hard. And it's a really nice thought, and it's a really nice gesture. But kids can work themselves. They can get up themselves. When you're gone, when you're in heaven, you're back home. That's something they can never ever get, is your time. They can never get your time back. Your parents can't get the children's time back. The children can't get the parents. The brothers can't get the sisters. Sisters can't get the brothers. Uncles and aunts. It doesn't matter who's missing you. When you're gone, you're gone. And no one is getting you back in this life. No one. Ain't happening. You know? So what's more important at the end of the day is, that's always my thought when it's my last breath. What's really, really important, and it always comes back to love. Always, 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 always comes back to the relationships I've had while I've been alive. And that's it. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what's important to you. If you imagine yourself on your last day, what would be your biggest regrets? If you know, think, I would really regret it if I didn't do this or that, you know. Because the beautiful thing is, it is not your last day. It is not my last day. So any regrets we may feel now, we can start to put right. And that is the beautiful thing about God and the divine. If you were here today, you have been blessed with the opportunity to continue growing, continue evolving, and most of all, continue loving. I'll see you soon, guys. I love you all.